The verdict in the sensational Pollachi sexual assault case is expected to be announced today by the Coimbatore Women's Court in Tamil Nadu. The case involves 9 accused individuals. They were arrested for allegedly sexually assaulting and extorting multiple women in Pollachi, Coimbatore district in the year 2019. The Pollachi sexual assault case came to light in 2019 when a woman filed a complaint with the police alleging that she was sexually assaulted and extorted by a group of men. The police, their investigation revealed that the accused had recorded videos of the assault and used them to blackmail the victims for money and sexual favors. The case involved at least 5 women who were lured and sexually harassed by a gang of men. The accused were charged with offences under the Indian Penal Code, Tamil Nadu Prohibition of Harassment of Women's Act and Information Technology Act. All the arrested individuals were charged with not only sexually abusing several women, but also secretly recording the assaults without the women's consent. In March 2019, 2 advocates moved the Supreme Court seeking a court-monitored probe into the case. However, the Supreme Court refused to entertain the plea and asked the petitioners to approach the High Court instead. The Madras High Court intervened in the case, directing the Central Bureau of Investigation to take over the investigation and ensure the privacy and safety of the victims. The court also imposed a cost of 25 lakh rupees on the state to be paid as compensation to the victim for violating her privacy, dignity and image. The CBI filed a charge sheet against the 9 accused and the trial began in the Coimbatore Women's Court. And today, the verdict in the sensational Pollachi sexual assault case is expected to be announced by the Coimbatore Women's Court in Tamil Nadu. Let me quickly go across to my colleague Gautam Shankar, who joins me with more details on the same. Gautam, can you walk us through how this entire incident was first exposed back in 2019?
Yes, Neha. So today we'll have a very big verdict from the Coimbatore Mahila Court, and the judgment will have political ramification for both the ruling party DMK and, more importantly, the opposition AIDMK as well. So the sensational Pollachi sexual assault case. Now this happened 6 years ago. Now 9 men from Pollachi were arrested back then, basically for blackmailing, sexually assaulting, and videographing young girls and women, and this happened in the period for 3 years. Remember, this kept on happening for 3 years between 2016 and 2018. And while we talk about this case involves at least 5 women who were lured, this is just the number of women who have come forward and filed a complaint. There are over 40 to 50 cases that have happened in this 3-year period between 2016 and 18, where these women were sexually assaulted, blackmailed, and videographed, and they were threatened against telling their family or anyone else as well. Now, this whole incident itself is a big, ugly blot on Coimbatore itself, given the fact that several women were lured and sexually harassed by this gang from Pollachi. And this had taken a political turn back then as well. Keep in mind that in 2021, when Tamil Nadu went into elections, this issue had become a raging issue in Tamil Nadu. And given the fact that there was alleged involvement of an AIDMK member as well, and it created a huge sentiment against the AIDMK, and this was probably one of the reasons for the downfall of the AIDMK back then as well. Now, let me just give more details about how serious this issue was. All of these girls who were basically lured by this gang. They were all in their 20s. They were students and they were blackmailed and sexually harassed as well. What we understand is that they lured this woman with fake accounts on Facebook, and in most cases, they would strike a conversation with these girls, asking questions on lesbianism and other sexual related topics. And after a friendship was formed, these conversations turned into a sort of sexual chat, and later they revealed their identity and forced the women to meet in person, citing their chats as well. and they harassed the women in moving vehicles, hotels, and even a farmhouse near Annamalai forest as well. The victims range from not just Coimbatore, the women who've been harassed here are from Chennai, Coimbatore, Salem, and many other parts of Tamil Nadu. And they include school and college teachers, doctors, and a few college students, as I mentioned as well. And most of the victims actually refused to file a formal complaint back then, and they feared a political backlash and from their families as well. And while they refused to file the complaints, at least a few of them did actually come forward and file a complaint. And following that, several of these men were arrested and they confessed to the crime as well. And the versions were corroborated, but then there were allegations that the police were not doing their duty properly, and then the CBI had to step into this matter. And following this, after several years now, we would see justice being done to several women from Tamil Nadu here, Neha.
Absolutely, Gautam. Continue to stay with us. In fact, I'm also joined by Ram Kumar, my colleague from Tamil Nadu. Ram, the details of this case can send shivers down anyone's spine. Do tell us, how did the gang really lure and trap these victims, and what covert methods did they really use to film the assaults without the women's knowledge?
Well, the 9 accused in the sensational Pollachi case, they were just brought into the Coimbatore Mahila Court just ahead of the verdict to be pronounced. According to the case details, the 9 accused, including Sabri Rajan, Tirunavukarasu, Vasanta Kumar, Satish, Manivannan, Arlanandam, Heran Paul, Babu, and Arun Kumar, all of them were basically friends, and they lured the girls through social media, especially from Facebook and Instagram, that they lured the girl by befriending them and asked them to come to a place and pick them up in a car. And later they were joined by the accused friends, and then later they were forcefully raped. And the horrific act was, filmed with a hidden camera in a car and also a resort where the incident took place. So all of these acts were happening between 2016 and 2018, and this horrific incident came to light after a 19-year-old college girl filed a complaint at the Pollachi police station. And so far, a total of 8 women have given statements against the accused, including the 19-year-old college student, the first complainant. After the case was filed, initially the Coimbatore police were investigating the matter, and later handed over to the CBCID. But considering the high sensational of this sensitivity of this case and the political pressure, the case was later handed over to the CBI. And the CBI probed the case, and they have charge sheeted the 9 accused on multiple charges, including criminal conspiracy, sexual harassment, rape, gang rape, and repeated rape of same woman. And they have also filed a charge sheet on this matter. And the Coimbatore Mahila Court have questioned all of these accused a couple of weeks back, and according to sources, the judge have asked 50 specific questions to each accused in a closed-door hearing that was happening throughout this case. The entire trial was conducted through video conferencing, given the sensitivity of the case, as the accused are lodged in Central Jail in Salem. All the witnesses were examined and lawyers presented their arguments before the court in the closed courtrooms. So we are given to understand that the entire court proceedings were happening in the closed courtroom, and the women judge who was handling the trial fixed up the date to pronounce the verdict, and according to which the judgment will be out in a few minutes from now. Meanwhile, all the accused who were lodged in Central Jail in Salem were just brought into the court complex just a while ago. Back to you.
Continue to stay with us. Let me quickly go across to my colleague Gautam, who's also with us, giving us details on this particular case. Gautam, could this verdict perhaps reshape voter sentiment in rural Coimbatore, where both DMK and AIADMK have strong bases?
Absolutely, and more so for the AIDMK, Neha, because keep in mind that the Pollachi assembly segment itself is traditionally considered an AIDMK bastion, and uh, in 2021 as well, the voter sentiment did turn against AIDMK as well. And keep in mind that in Pollachi, which is something that falls in the western Tamil Nadu sector, the people have always extended support to the AIDMK mainly because of the Jayalalitha factor. And being a woman, Jayalalitha was able to garner the votes of women here, and the number of women voters are substantially here in Pollachi. And they had actually created a strong base. And now, keeping in mind that in 2026, Tamil Nadu goes to elections as well, and this has become a raging talking point. Keep in mind that when the Annamalai University sexual assault, Anna University sexual assault incident also happened, DMK was quick to point out time and again, why is the AIDMK not raising the Pollachi issue? Why is the former BJP chief Annamalai back then? Why didn't he speak about this issue? Why didn't he outrage about this issue back then? Given that senior AIDMK functionary was involved in this case as well. So the DMK is expected to milk this verdict when it comes out, and it will definitely have big political ramifications in the western belt of Tamil Nadu, and not just in Coimbatore or Pollachi itself, Neha.